Hello, I'm Longino and this is my story. I grew up in southern New Mexico in Grant County, and looking back, I always wanted to live a healthy lifestyle. I began running, had difficulty running long distance, so I got into biking and I became a cyclist. Cyclist was a good way for me to keep my weight down, and it's a good cardio because my family has a history of heart disease, so I wanted to keep my heart as healthy as possible. As I biked more and more, I found out that I really enjoyed the bike, so I actually joined a biking group here, Zia Velo, and it's a racing one, so I found myself biking more and more each week. I got up to 150 miles of cycling a week, and I was becoming stronger and faster. And there's no bike lanes, so you're driving on the road. So you had to deal with traffic. So every day that I left the house, I knew that I was taking a risk. Roads were not designed for bikes. So what happened is I would have drivers coming up to me when you're driving 150 miles a week, you're going to have a bad experience each time you go out. So people were yelling at me, "Get off the roads, you should be on the sidewalks." I actually had people swerving to try and push me off the road with their vehicle. There was a white diesel truck that used to come up next to me and accelerate because it would blow a big flume of smoke into me, and he thought it was funny, I guess. Some of the worst drivers, there's a sign that says share the road, but they thought that sharing the road meant sharing the lane. And if you do a bike and a car at the same time, they can fit together. So their idea of sharing was going the lane, and they wouldn't slow down at 50 miles an hour. So I would get maybe a few inches, maybe up a foot as they went by at that speed. Was pretty terrifying. But I got used to it and I felt comfortable. I said, I'm going out. I know this is going to happen. I just have to be prepared. On June 19th, 2021, there was a race in Arizona, and there was 42 riders riding in the race. I felt very safe. So I was riding in the front of the group because I thought, well, maybe I'll have an opportunity to compete, for one of the top places. I went to the bike race that day, and a truck driver who was under an influence basically drove through the group, put 7 of us in critical condition. The guy next to me, the cyclist next to me, passed away. My bike was lodged in the front grille of the truck, and as he drove off, I don't remember any of this, but basically I broke both my arms. I was in critical condition. They flew me to VRUnm hospital. I had 6 months of therapy, physical therapy and occupational therapy to get my arms back into shape. I had traumatic brain injury, which basically I don't remember anything from June 19th. I woke up July 1st on the hospital. But they said I wasn't out. They just said I would wake up every day, and I didn't know where I was at, so I was trying to escape. So they had me tied to the bed because I couldn't remember what happened. Every day they had to remind me what happened. On July 1st, I finally had memory and could get, and they told me that if I could get up and walk on my own, so that I would be released, or else I'd have to go to a rehab hospital. So I got up, and my daughters and my wife, they all walked with me up and down the stalls so I could get released and do an outpatient to rehab. I did get released on July 1st. I had missed a few weeks of work, so I was worried. So I had a July 4th holiday. On July 5th, I went back to work, not realizing that I was no longer the same person that I was prior to the crash. I looked normal now, especially after doing physical therapy and getting my arms back. I realized my brain injury was something that was going to change my life forever. My sight is different. I see everything a little darker, maybe a little bit more out of focus. My taste doesn't, nothing tastes the same, smells the same. I have trouble with time. I can't differentiate time, speed, depth perception. I had extreme fatigue. I'm unaware of emotions. I could be sad, I could be happy, I could be angry, and I don't know why. My cognitive thinking is very out of whack. I have trouble making very simple decisions. I can't concentrate on anything when I'm having a conversation with someone. If I'm not very focused on them, and I can ask the same question over and over again. I have difficulty remembering. Sometimes I forget where I'm going. I get lost. Sometimes I don't even recognize where I've driven to, and it's someplace that's very familiar, like a grocery store, and I don't recognize where I'm at. So I realized that my work was a lot more challenging. I realized that what I was doing was not the same as what I was prior to the crash. My wife, so I retired. My wife also retired because she realized that I needed a lot of time and effort, so she retired to help me at home. Basically, I'm overwhelmed with daily life. Every day is a challenge for me.